Hey, this is Adam Anderson, owner of WealthGuard Advisors.
Hello, I'm Blake.
Hey, we wanted to talk about the market today, but before we do that, let's talk about some disclosures because all investments involve some sort of risk, and you should understand that risk. Past performance does not guarantee future results. So read your prospectuses and disclosures carefully before investing or taking any of the advice we're talking about. All right, we're talking about the big picture of the market today, right, Blake?
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussions on whether we're overextended. I've seen a lot of comparisons to the dot-com bubble, especially with how concentrated we've been in a few tech names. And while I think there's certainly something to that and something to watch, I don't think it's quite the same. We're seeing a lot of spending coming from large companies with large cash reserves. We talk about Apple's $1 billion they have set aside in cash. That's where the money for these, AI investments are coming from. So the situation's a little different, and I'm not too concerned about the market right just yet.
So we are seeing like the growth of earnings growing faster than their price in the case of Nvidia, and I think we talked about some other companies that are actually their price to earnings, their earnings are growing faster than their price. So even though something looks expensive, it may not necessarily mean it is relative to what their sales and growth is. But we are concerned and we are watching for signs. So some of the things that we look for is distribution days. When we see a high volume sell-off day or down day, we see a number of down days in a row. So normally it just doesn't fall off a cliff. Sometimes it does, but normally it doesn't. We see a cascading of selling, and when we see a number of distribution days, that's usually when we like to lighten up on our holdings. So not that we want to be market timers. We believe in diversification and staying in for the long haul. We hate to get out and find out that the market just turns around and goes up again. So if we're selling off, we have to really see convincing signs that there is a downturn entry to a bear market scenario. But we really advocate for the majority of our clients stay invested, diversification. But we do like to augment our portfolios with things that we feel could do better than the averages or the index, right? If you're just investing in the averages, what are you going to get? Average. We like to be a little bit above average if we can. And that's how we do that, is by investing in a handful of things or a small amount of things that we feel can perform better than the market. So, Blake, we were talking about the defense industry. There's a lot going on in the news right now with kind of a Cold War with China going on. We still got Ukraine happening. Russia's hot-ish, not with us, but with other countries. So a lot of other countries are buying our defense packages I say, but products to defend themselves. So there's a lot going on in the aero defense space. So Blake and I looked at the exchange traded fund. So Blake and I looked at the ITA, that's the an iShares an exchange traded fund. Now, when we looked at that, the main holdings of that are like uh, General Electric Aerospace, the GE, Boeing, Raytheon, uh,
You-
LMT, which is Lockheed Martin, things like that. But we wanted to kind of dig a little deeper into some holdings that we really like that we should be on our radar, maybe not to buy today because things have been kind of high, but are worthwhile. Blake, you want to start off with your pick of the
Yeah. One I like is Axon. So this is a little different than the usual defense play, but we do get a lot of people we talk to who, just from a moral standpoint, don't like buying the bullets and missile makers. And Axon, they make the body cameras for police that have become very popular, but also they make the AI software to manage those videos, transcripts, translations, and just the tool from an administrative side, making those cameras more functional. They also do cameras on things like drones and remote robotic vehicles and things like that. So they do play a role in the defense industry, and their cameras and then the software attached to their cameras are also pretty popular.
Yeah, there's basically not a police force in the United States, I don't think, that's using body cams. If they are, they're out in the woods somewhere and just can't afford it. But Axon actually started off as the company Taser. They make the Taser guns, and they got into body cams, and this has become their big part of their business is the body cam business. And it is a fabulous company. If you look at the earnings here, uh, they estimated 8 cents last quarter. They came in at $2.12. So talking about revenue growth versus price, it is trading at a very high multiple, but it is something that is growing at a very fast pace. So I wanted to share AVAV. There we go. AeroVironment, and they actually changed their name to just AV. And this is a company that builds drones. So we could send off Javelin missiles to Russia from Ukraine, and it costs tens of millions of dollars for one missile, or we could have something that costs tens of thousands of dollars. You could teach an 18-year-old how to use it in 10 minutes. And we have these tank buster drones that they're using there. But that's not really what I wanted to focus on. Uh, they have a lot of things that are going on in the drone business. They're involved in the Golden Dome that's being built supposedly, and they also have anti-drone technologies. So instead of us sending off missiles to knock down a drone, they send these electric pulses that just basically nullify them and they just drop out of the sky. So it's a pretty amazing company. It's a very small component of a lot of these aero defense exchange traded funds, but I think it's one worth watching. And the drone warfare, I hate to say it that way, is just seems to be heating up, and this is a direct beneficiary of that. So, a couple ideas for you: Axon, AVAV, good companies. Maybe not to buy today, but to have on radar. There's something we've been looking at for our clients on a consistent basis. Blake,
Yeah, thanks,
you want to
Adam.
round us up here?
Yeah, I just want to highlight that WealthGuard Advisors here, we're a registered investment advisor. And as fiduciaries, we're committed to always putting our clients' best interest first. Our team specializes in personalized asset management, looking at companies like this and based on your needs, and then financial planning designed around your unique goals. So we work on a straightforward fee-only basis, no setup fees, no exit fees, just transparent pricing for the services we provide. If you're ready to take that next step towards a confident retirement, we'd love the opportunity to sit down and talk with you. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.